For Double, the Jewelry Exchange Bethesda.
Tonight, go nuclear. Those words from President Trump after his pick for the Supreme Court, telling Republican leaders to go nuclear if that's what it takes to get him through. Also, the warning late today from the Trump White House to Iran, saying we are officially putting Iran on notice. Martha Raddatz is standing by. Also, that moment late today, President Trump taking his daughter Ivanka to pay respects to the Navy SEAL from Illinois killed during the raid in Yemen. The hostage drama unfolding at this hour, an American prison on lockdown, several workers being held captive inside, injuries reported. The Denver area officer shot and killed. Authorities say the suspect coming up from behind, killing him execution style. Tonight, what we're learning. And America strong tonight, the woman who lost her leg in the Boston bombings, the firefighter who saved her. And now, what has the whole town celebrating.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Wednesday night, and we are following two major headlines coming out of the Trump White House. Tonight, that warning to Iran, putting that country, quote, on notice. Also, less than 24 hours after the president revealed his pick for the Supreme Court, he's telling Republicans to go nuclear to get his pick through if it comes to that. Judge Neil Gorsuch at the Capitol beginning to meet with the senators who will decide his fate. But tonight, some Democrats vowing to block him, calling it a stolen seat after President Obama's final Supreme Court nominee was never even given a hearing. ABC's chief White House correspondent Jonathan Karl leading us off.
As newly minted Supreme Court nominee Neil Gorsuch began making the rounds on Capitol Hill today,
a little bit of Colorado and Washington.
Back at the White House, President Trump urged Republican Senate leader Mitch McConnell to do whatever it takes to get him confirmed.
If we end up with that gridlock, I would say, if you can, Mitch, go nuclear, because that would be an absolute shame if a man of this quality was caught up in the web.
By going nuclear, he means a rare change to Senate rules to effectively make it impossible for Democrats alone to block the nomination. Either way, it will be a bruising battle.
So let me get this straight. You are against Neil Gorsuch no matter what. No matter what happens in his hearings, no matter what he says, no matter what others say about him, you are going to do everything you can to stop him?
I am indeed, for two reasons. The first, that this nomination should never have occurred, and second, the man's record.
Democratic Senator Jeff Merkley accuses Republicans of stealing a Supreme Court seat because for 10 months they blocked Barack Obama's nominee to replace the late Justice Antonin Scalia.
And you're not going to back down on this no matter what happens?
No, I'm not.
No matter
Absolutely.
what happens in those hearings, nothing?
No.
But Gorsuch comes with a sterling resume, degrees from Columbia and Harvard Law, and a PhD in legal philosophy from Oxford. Conservatives applaud his opinions in two cases, voting for a religious exemption to the Obamacare mandate requiring coverage of contraception. He's written nothing significant about hot-button issues like gay marriage or abortion, but he did write a book backing laws against euthanasia, writing, quote, "All human beings are intrinsically valuable, and the intentional taking of human life by private persons is always wrong."
I will do all my powers permit to be a faithful servant of the Constitution and laws of this great country.
Gorsuch is a great admirer of Justice Scalia, who he would be replacing, but he also clerked for Justice Anthony Kennedy, the key swing vote on the High Court. His nomination has unified Republicans. Even Trump's strongest Republican critics are lining up to fight for him.
Neil Gorsuch, what do you think?
Home run. Judge's judge. This is the kind of person that the founders envisioned sitting on the Supreme Court. He knows what a judge's job is.
And John Karl with us live tonight at the White House. And John, we're seeing Republicans say Judge Gorsuch is eminently qualified, but you've got the Democrats there in your report who say, look what Republicans just did to President Obama's nominee. So are the Democrats going to do what the Republicans just did?
Well, Democrats are still furious about the way Merrick Garland was treated without even getting a hearing, and there's no question they are taking it out on Neil Gorsuch. There's hypocrisy all around on this, David. The bottom line is few people question whether either nominee is qualified for the Supreme Court, and both have been opposed by senators for purely political reasons.
All right, here we go again. John Karl, thank you. There was a moment late today driving home President Trump's sobering role as commander-in-chief. President Trump taking his daughter Ivanka to pay respects to the Navy SEAL from Illinois killed during the al-Qaeda raid in Yemen. The image coming after a major warning from the White House today on Iran, saying, quote, "We are officially putting Iran on notice." So does this mean military action is on the table? Here's ABC's chief global affairs correspondent, Martha Raddatz.
The National Security Advisor came to the White House podium unexpectedly and took no questions, but his message to Iran was blunt.
As of today, we are officially putting Iran on notice.
General Flynn's warning came after Iran's test of yet another ballistic missile and other provocative actions, including high-speed approaches to U.S. warships.
Iran continues to threaten U.S. friends and allies in the region.
While Flynn blasted the Obama administration for what he called an inadequate response to Iran in the past, the White House did not specify how they would hold Iran accountable now, saying just that they are considering options and will take appropriate action. Meanwhile, the president today, along with his daughter Ivanka, took that somber trip to Joint Base Andrews for the dignified transfer of the remains of Navy SEAL William Ryan Owens, killed in a raid in Yemen. This is the first service member killed since Donald Trump became commander-in-chief.
Those duties difficult for any president. Martha Raddatz with us live tonight from Washington. And Martha, I want to go back to Iran for a moment. Did the White House rule out military action in Iran?
Well, David, they didn't put it out there as an option, but they didn't rule it out either. What Mike Flynn really did today was let Iran know there is a new sheriff in town, and he may not be pulling his gun out, but he's got one in his holster. David?
All right, Martha Raddatz with us tonight. Martha, thank you as always. Meantime, the showdown on Capitol Hill. New fireworks tonight. Just 5 of the president's 21 cabinet-level nominees have now been confirmed. Tonight, his pick for education secretary facing major new hurdles. And there is news tonight on Rex Tillerson, who had been scrutinized for his close ties to Vladimir Putin. He has now been confirmed as Secretary of State. But he takes charge of a State Department where nearly 1,000 diplomats have opposed the president's travel ban. ABC's Mary Bruce back on the Hill tonight.
Tonight, Trump's billionaire pick to lead the Education Department could be the first confirmation casualty.
I cannot vote to confirm her.
2 Republican senators, Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski, now say they will not vote for Betsy DeVos, both citing her lack of experience.
I think that Mrs. DeVos has much to learn about our nation's public schools.
DeVos, a strong supporter of school vouchers, under fire for never having worked in the public school system.
In order to clarify, you never attended a public school, K-12 school, did you?
Correct.
And your children did not either, correct?
That's correct.
And you've never taught at a K-12 public school, correct?
I've not, but I've mentored in one.
And she was mocked for this bizarre exchange when talk of guns in schools turned to grizzly bears.
You can't say definitively today that guns shouldn't be in schools?
Well, I will refer back to Senator Enzi and the school that he was talking about in Wapiti, Wyoming. I think probably there, I would imagine that there's probably a gun in the school to protect from potential grizzlies.
And there are new allegations she may have plagiarized part of her answers on a Senate confirmation questionnaire.
Many of the responses look copied and pasted from previous statements or are simple reiterations of the law and no true responses at all.
DeVos's confirmation now in real jeopardy. It could require Vice President Mike Pence to step in and break a Senate tie.
I am 100% confident she will be the next Secretary of Education.
But Team Trump did notch one big victory today, the Senate confirming former Exxon CEO Rex Tillerson as Secretary of State. A contentious pick, partly because of images like this. Tillerson sharing a champagne toast with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Tillerson passed the Senate 56-43, a far tighter margin than most modern secretaries of state. The closest comparison, Condoleezza Rice, confirmed by a vote of 85-13. 94 senators voted to confirm Hillary Clinton. Tillerson now takes control of an agency with hundreds of employees in open rebellion against the new administration. After the president's immigration ban, nearly 1,000 State Department employees signing a letter of dissent.
Mary Bruce with us live from Capitol Hill again tonight. And Mary, one former top State Department official with a message for the new administration?
This was quite the parting gift, David. Tom Countryman, a member of Obama's senior State Department leadership, in his farewell address, saying that business leaders are important partners. But despite the similarities, he says a dog is not a cat, baseball is not football, and diplomacy is not a business. David?
Mary Bruce, live on Capitol Hill. Mary, thank you. There is new scrutiny tonight of President Trump's chief strategist in the White House, Steve Bannon, who was given a permanent seat during National Security Council meetings. Tonight, there is controversy over Bannon's own words. And ABC senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega asking about those words today. Here's how the White House answered.
The White House today pressed about President Trump's chief strategist and his controversial views on Islam. Last year, Steve Bannon said this.
It's pretty dark here in Europe right now, but there's something actually much darker, and that is Islam.
Bannon, the former publisher of that alt-right news site Breitbart, is now seen as one of the most powerful people in the White House. USA Today reviewed dozens of hours of Bannon on the radio, unearthing comments like this from 2015.
To be brutally frank, I mean, Christianity is dying in Europe and Islam's on the rise. Let's talk about that.
The White House today trying to distance the president.
Steve Bannon can be heard on recording saying Islam is a dark religion, not a religion of peace, a religion of submission. Does the president share his chief strategist's apparent beliefs on Islam?
I think the president's been very clear that his number one goal is not to target any one religion, but places and areas where we believe that there is an issue, that there's a big difference between Islam, the religion, and radical Islamic terrorists that come here to seek to do us harm.
But nothing about this comment that the president wants to distance himself from or even elaborate on? I mean,
I just think I made it clear that there's a difference between the president's view.
In a rare White House move, the president recently giving his confidant a permanent seat on the National Security Council, where he sits side by side with the secretaries of state and defense. Bannon also played a key role in crafting President Trump's extreme vetting order, that temporary ban on immigrants from 7 predominantly Muslim countries. In 2015, Bannon suggesting he supported more than a temporary ban.
Why are you going through all this thing on vetting? Why even let him in? The opportunity cost to put in a structure to actually vet these people, the cost to do that, to what end? Can't that money be used in the United States? I mean, I think the issue is, should we just take a pause and a hiatus for a number of years?
And Cecilia Vega joins us live from the White House. And tonight, Cecilia, some House Democrats now asking President Trump to remove Steve Bannon from the National Security Council, that permanent seat he's been given.
Yeah, David, they're actually demanding that, and it's right here in a letter to the president. These Democrats this letter doesn't expect to go very far, have much of an impact here at the White House, but listen to what they're demanding. They say, quote, Mr. Bannon's lack of government experience and his extreme political agenda remains deeply troubling. David?
All right, Cecilia Vega, our thanks to you and the entire team in Washington tonight. In the meantime, we move on to other news this evening, and we're following developments at this hour in Delaware. Inmates taking several guards and a counselor hostage at a state prison. One of those hostages injured. The incident triggering an alert at all prisons in the state. ABC's Eva Pilgrim on the scene tonight.
Tonight, a Delaware prison on lockdown.
44-2, James B. Wall Correctional Center, 1181 Paddock Road.
4 guards and a counselor taken hostage just before 10:30 a.m. The calls coming in for a report of smoke.
So we're going to move all operations back.
Injuries reported, including 1 guard reportedly hit multiple times with a mop wringer.
At this point, we do not know if there are any other injuries.
Images from above showing heavily armed SWAT teams and armored cars gathered in groups in the prison yard. The situation unfolding in an area of the prison where maximum security inmates transition to medium security.
Working with the Department of Correction, the FBI, and the Delaware State Police, we continue negotiations to obtain a peaceful and safe resolution.
David, a tense and active situation here right now. The roads around the prison blocked off. Authorities locking down prisons across the state as a precaution. David?
Eva, thank you. Next from Denver tonight, the execution-style killing of a transit security officer. The gunman approaching the officer from behind late last night and opening fire. The suspect is in custody. But tonight, the search for a motive continues, and this evening, authorities are now asking this question: did the officer's uniform make him a target? There is still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Wednesday. The new headline at this hour involving former President George H.W. Bush, just back from the hospital, and now this. And there's big news involving Hillary Clinton tonight and her next move. The volcano spectacle on the Big Island of Hawaii, what's behind these incredible images coming in, and the new concern over bacon. Did you see these headlines today? A bacon shortage in this country? What we've learned. And let the delivery wars begin. Inside Walmart's attempt to upend Amazon tonight, but we're out to save your money. Our correspondent with the numbers you need to pay attention to right after the break.
For lower back pain sufferers, the search for relief often leads here, here, or here. Today, there's another option, drug-free Aleve Direct Therapy, a TENS device with high-intensity power that uses technology once only available in doctors' offices. Its wireless remote lets you control the intensity and helps you get back to things like this, or this, and back to being yourself. Aleve Direct Therapy. Find yours in the pain relief aisle.
Your brain changes as you get older, but Prevagen helps your brain with an ingredient originally discovered in jellyfish. In clinical trials, Prevagen has been shown to improve short-term memory. Prevagen, the name to remember.
Liberty Mutual stood with me when I was too busy with the kids to get a repair estimate. I just snapped a photo and got an estimate in 24 hours.
My insurance company definitely doesn't have that.